Peace. Greetings. Good morning, everyone. Oh, you're doing well. Thank you, Kashia. You know I was waiting for it. Yeah. Peace, Urad. Yared. Help me out. Peace to Plant OG. Yeah, yeah. Give thanks. Welcome, everyone. You know, yeah. Welcome, everyone. As usual, kind of finishing up. Just some correspondence. Peace, YG Gutter. YG Gutter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Peace. Yeah. Always good vibes. Well, sometimes bad vibes. I guess it's all in how you look at it. But you called it, so we gonna take the good vibes today. We're gonna go by what you're talking about. It's gonna be good vibes. You know, that's how we're commanding it. You know. Peace Ruhia. Yeah. Peace Ruhia. Yeah, good dawning. Good dawning. Good dawning to everyone. Everyone coming in. Um, we starting another one, right? We starting another one. Uh, I'm gonna attempt to be a little quicker. You know, I've been kind of trying to cut myself at the 1 hour mark. And peace, Tanika. And the only reason I've been going to like an hour is because I noticed that even though I may start at 6:30, a lot of people come in like around 7, so that accounts for that extra half an hour. But I told you my goal was really to be 15 minutes initially, but I guess people while they're doing their dawning routine, or for some of you still laying in bed, you still have the kind of the audio going, getting things going for yourself. Peace, Shannon. Peace, Trey. C. You know. Yeah, man. So that's why I'm gonna get right into it. See if we can bring the time down a little bit. Uh, so break fast. Today's Wednesday, so I think Kashia, you're breaking. I don't know if you're breaking in the dawning or in the evening. I broke last evening, and it was cool. Peace, Krishan. You know, the coolest thing about it, man, is honestly, uh, peace, Moksha, Sister Moksha, is being able to see some of the experiences that you all are going through. You know, for me, you know, I was having a dialogue with a beautiful set of sisters last night. Did a Q&A. They did a book club on grasping the root of divine power. That was like their book, you know, in the club. And you know, I did when they were done with the book, I did a Q&A for them. So we were rocking for about 3.5 hours, three and a half, somewhere maybe about 3 hours. But you know, one of the beautiful things is to always to see people to be able to grow together. You know, the Zoom call was recorded. So at one point I got off and got back on. So when I looked at the recording, I like saw the time when I wasn't on. Peace, Antonio, and they were talking among themselves, and they were like, "Woo, it's a lot of information." It was like my head is exploding, you know. But it's cute, you know. To me, it's beautiful to watch them all like get together and maybe have brain busters together, grow together, and expand who and what they are, you know, as a collective. You know, peace, Kenneth. So it's the same thing with the fast, man. It's beautiful to see people encourage each other, give each other tips, give each other different, you know, just methods and just, you know, different ways of approaching it, different ways of coming out of it, man. We are a collective sort of people, and in the West, we've really been trained out of that. You know, we've been convinced that all of our greatness um, is achieved through isolation, and that's not an Eastern thing. You know, Eastern thing we learn to get we lock arms and we sit down. You know, peace, Sister Manera. It doesn't need to be a whole lot of drama and problems, but we learn things together. We figure things out as a group. Peace, Baba Christian. Peace, spoiled rotten. Spoiled rotten. Think about that name for a moment. maybe coming out of this fast. Peace, brother Jamie. You might want to change some things around. You know, I used to work for a record label. I was a producer for a while, and the name of the well, actually, it was a production label, not a record label. The name of it was Spoiled Rotten. Yeah, I had a lot of good times with them. You know, made a lot of good music under Spoiled Rotten. Kenny Cornegay. Well, actually, he owned it. They called him Kenny Smooth. Smooth. Kenny Smooth Cornegay. But anyway, um, like I was saying, just to be able to do things as a group is glorious, and to be able to encourage each other. My ears are ringing. He must be talking about me while I'm talking about him. Peace, Cruz. Um, yeah, but yeah. So I'm thankful for that. You know, I'm thankful for that experience. You know, being able to witness that. Peace, Fase, all the way down there where you at. You know, you know, I want to get into something real quick, and then willfully it won't be too long. Like I said, usually I stay a little longer. That's why it's been an hour for the people coming in at 7. But they might have to catch it on the replay. You know. So the thing is, we have a serious disease, man, that's been like going on for a long time, man, and that's loneliness. You know, and like how you were all able to do the fast together, and like those sisters were able to learn together and things like that. You know, it's a beautiful thing. But there's so many people who are plagued, peace India, with loneliness. And loneliness is a plague. Don't look at it as anything different. It is a plague. It's a disease. You know, in some circles, it's I've read medical journals where it's classified as a disease, but it's a serious thing because typically when you're overwhelmed with emotions and you don't have the ability to cope with and deal with all of the different array, peace, Ali Isha, all of the different array of emotions that are coming to you, um, that's a stimulus or a catalyst towards those feelings of loneliness. And like I said, being able to, there we go, I'm getting good at it. Peace, Miss Cindy Jones. Being able to do things in coalition as a group is very powerful. Peace, Nikki Love. You know, you need your own. You and Miss Cindy Jones need your own detective show. You know, it reminds me of like Get Christy Love. A lot of you probably don't know about Get Christy Love, but anyway, so yeah, man, loneliness is a deep thing, man. You know, I think about sometimes when I see people, some of the moves that they make in life and how it isolates and separates them. You know, one of the things that Kashia, you so old. No matter how far I go back, you are like, yeah, I know about that. Cause she'll be like, yeah, remember in Atlantis when we used to go to the movies in Atlantis and everything. We sit on the beach and everything, and they would show the movies in the clouds. They would project them up into the clouds, you know, from the nebula, and they would use dilithium crystals and everything to power the projector. Oh yeah, I remember they had the best popcorn. They'd have candy corn. You remember everything, but yeah. So the thing is, yeah, I know a little about Atlantis. See, peace, Baba Vermont. You know, so the thing is, you know, peace, Andrine. I'm not gonna catch everybody in the live, by the way. I mean, in the chat. I try to always greet everyone because that's important to me to acknowledge people, especially when they greet me. But I know I'm gonna miss some people. But you know, so yeah, man. Like I said, I celebrate your collectiveness. I really do. I enjoy watching it, and sometimes we do things. I spoke about that just for like 2 minutes yesterday. I did a quick live because something was on my heart, and I had given some information on the word union, and peace, Miss B from the Bajan from Barbados. Is rainy there, huh? Yeah, I know the storm is passing over in so many different ways, right? But real quick, for those who didn't catch that little blurb, um, union is when there's no separation between you and the creator. Period. Peace, 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 Hassan. That is the definition of union. All right, when there's no separation between man or humanity and woman and the divine. Shalom, shalom, Bobby Manuel. That screen name keep changing. Maybe you coming in from your phone or your computer or something. But yeah, man. So that's what actual factual unity is. It's when there's no impedance. Sometimes the impedance is words. Oh yeah, I figured that. Two different accounts. Yeah. Yeah, I got my righteous account and I got my ratchet account. Yeah, I know what you're doing. But this is what I go on World Star with, what I mean, and chick fights. And this is the other one where I, watch Dr. Ben lectures and CHIEFYUYA. But yeah, I got a couple of accounts too. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So that's an important thing. Like, you think about what blocks us. Like I said, sometimes it's Creature on YouTube. Yeah, all of y'all are foul. Foul, foul. But all of us got different things that separate us, right? Like a lot of times, like I was saying, is words. We're using too many words, using the wrong words, and not realizing that the almighty intelligence doesn't communicate in something as slow and cumbersome as verbal syntax. Peace, Sherelle. That's not how the Almighty communicates in symbols and signs. It holds so much more information. So when you get the words out the way, you can get closer. It's kind of like music and dancing. When you remove the mechanics of 1, 2, 3, maybe when you first learn in the dance and you learn how to waltz, you have to count in your head. Okay, my one foot goes here, and the next one goes here, next one goes here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're thinking that in your head. So obviously, you're not really having a divine experience outside of calculation because you're counting and you're calculating. But then when you're able to remove that, when that level of comfort comes in, then you're now having, peace, Barbara. You're now having a real connect. You know, you're having a divine experience, if you will. That's union. So that's why, like peace, Terrence. You know, yeah, exactly. One symbol is reflected. You said a mouthful there. Is reflective of 1,000 words. Exactly. You know, um, think about what goes through your head when you see an image of a Moor. Those ancient, or you see the old picture of the Moors playing chess. Peace, Gypsy Gray. All the things that go through your head. You know, or the image of they always show the image of the brother with all the welts on his back from being beaten. You know, well, we don't even know if it's from him being beaten, from him being whipped. The enslaved African. You know, oh, Ra, you a woman? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you was somebody else. There's somebody who has a very similar name to yours. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, no disrespect intended. Yeah, sorry about that. I thought you were there's a brother out of Atlanta with a name similar to yours. Yeah, Peace Matsili Slee. I know I said it wrong because it flashed too quick. Sorry about that. You know, but you know. You never gave me the phonetics last time. But so yeah, like I said, man, those words sometimes get things kind of caught up a little bit and create separation. And you know, when we're astral traveling, we remove words. You know, it's like removing the thinking brain. You know, and then we just move into a place where signs, symbols, music, sound, colors, smell. You know, we're functioning and communicating through senses, like we do when we do rituals. When we do rituals, the chants are not as important. What's more important is the way you breathe and the shapes you make with your mouth. That's really the key. It's not really this word means this, that word means that. You know, it's when you and your tongue is going to the roof of your mouth, meaning it's going to heaven. Your tongue is your sword. So you take your sword to heaven, or certain words you have to bring it back down to earth, things like that. That's the power in that, you know, right? Peace, Ia Alderete. Um, but these are all different ways that we connect. So, like you may have heard me say before that I'm pretty much a loner, but I'm not lonely. I'm never lonely, but I'm alone a lot, but never lonely, right? Because of my connection with the divine. I'm always plugged in so much that I don't like a lot of people around me. You know, messing up the vibe. You know, so I tend to, and I don't like a lot of. I'm an empath, so I pick up on people's energy too much, and it starts to mess up the vibe. Right. So, nonetheless, loneliness is so serious, man, because people do a couple of things where, you know, a lot of times it's rebelliousness, with it separating. You know, Bob Emmanuel had said something in a recent Sabbat call that we have in Anu, and he was referring to the phrase when Yahweh Shai called out, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And, you know, it's because God the mind, there we go, thank you. Motsidi C. Oh, that's it. I don't know why I was seeing more letters in there. All right, thank you. um, you know, I'm adding letters visually. There's got to be another L in there. Feels like there'd be another L. You know, sorry about that. Um, so yeah, my God, why has that forsaken me? You know, the creative mind is not going to fellowship with disobedience. And in that story, and that story, um, the the messianic figure took on the sins of his nation, of his people, and said, I'm gonna be like the goat. I'm gonna be like the chicken. I'm gonna be the sacrifice, right? So with that, um, you say my mic is messed up, so y'all can't hear me or what? Because I was told I was loud and clear. Okay, cool. Thank you, Kashir. All right. So I think it might be on your side. Give thanks. Thank you, everyone. Might be on your side, sis. Oh, your mic. Well, that's all right. You know, you don't have to talk. Just as long as your speakers work, your speakers work. You know. So the thing is, yeah, that creative mind doesn't fellowship with disobedience. So, peace, Cassie. So in that story, thank you. You can hear me. When that figure took on that sacrifice, there was a moment when the divine mind said, even though this is my rule, you know, and the rule is you do something, it's got to be a sacrifice to be restored. Peace, Levette. I can't touch you right now. So in that moment, there was a like, I don't feel your presence, right? and that was worth crying out for. Like, oh my God, I'm alone, you know. Even though I may have had these 12 people rolling with me, and I got people crying for me and things like that, but the only thing that kept me connected was you. The only thing that made me ever feel like I'm not alone is you. And in this moment, I don't even have that, and they killing me. you know. So there's a lot to learn from that story. There's a lot to learn, right? Because a lot of times we go through situations where we do things that separate us. I remember as a younger person, um, I had a lot of friends who were not good people, but I always had like peace, Rika, shy. I always had two kinds of friends, right? I always had like my good side, my good friends, and then I always had my goblins and my my demon friends, And I remember there was a time period, and I felt the way about it, but I never said anything, where my good friends started not being around me as much. They would do things with each other and wouldn't really invite me or whatever. And then when I would try to get them to come over to the other side, I think the good side was this side. This was the bad side. Okay, so I would try to get the good ones to come over here. Like, yo, we're gonna go do this. We were, nah, I don't like to hang out with so and so. I don't want to be around so and so. They're trouble. And I would look at them like, man, y'all some squares. You know what I mean? Like, not really understand. They were doing the right thing. They were doing the right thing. Like, if you're gonna fellowship with that, then you and I'm gonna have to reconsider our bond, right? And that's so what you count the bad guys, uh, you know. So that was the right thing to do. When you're young, sometimes you don't understand it. But me, I've always been a pretty sensitive person, even though I could hide it. So I felt like though we were better than that. You know what I mean? Um, but they did the right thing. They did the right thing, right? So that's a lot of times what we're afraid to do, or sometimes we take on energies. Like, these are people who were saying, or these sets of friends, or I think the good ones was over here. These sets of friends were saying, there's something in you that I admire in me, and there's something in you that I rock with. But what they are is the opposite of what I'm striving to be, right? So therefore, I can't be around that, or I'll be that. You see, sometimes we pick our friends for the silliest reasons. Oh, we grew up together, or we're like cousins. That doesn't mean anything. Your friend should be a reflection of what you imagine the divine to be. That's who your friend should be, right? Now, when your friends are that, that's when you'll dissolve or burn away the feelings of loneliness. When your friends and your friendships are based around the disobedience that you enjoy, or the debauchery that you enjoy, or the wickedness that you enjoy, or the sin that you enjoy, then now what happens in that moment is now you start to feel alone. That's when you're in a room of a bunch of people, but you feel lonely. You see, because they're not channeling any of that divine spark, that divine creation. You're not sharing it between you. You see, all you're sharing between you is celebrations of wickedness. you know Whereas when you are vibing with people, I have certain friends, and this I know this insight today in commanding your day. It may irritate some of you. You just gonna have to be irritated because it needs to be heard. you know so I understand that it may be kind of a polarizing message in that sense, because especially in the melanin rich community, we we have this thought of like all these people we got to save, even though we're not saved ourselves. We're on quicksand, and we're all sinking, and talking about, yeah, I gotta reach out to this one and save them, and not realizing that one's just gonna pull you deeper into the quicksand, because they're not even trying to save themselves. They're not even reaching towards a branch or a piece of grass or a root or something to pull themselves out, man. So this one who you're trying to befriend is just gonna pull you deeper, because you ain't even got on yourself. you ain't even got out yourself, you know? So, one of the critical things, man, like I said, sometimes even, I have friends now that annoy me sometimes. And the things, a lot of the things that annoy me about them are the things that I need to be. So what's actually annoyed is not really me. My ego is annoyed. My sinful, disobedient self is annoyed by some of the things that they do, right? So like I have one of my friends, he's very welcoming. Sometimes I feel like he has no filters. And he's always sending me these clips and these videos of all these different people on YouTube or podcasts breaking different things down. But some of these people sometimes are kind of like they're fugazi. You know what I mean? They're not real. They're kind of phony, or they're just, yeah, they're just not on point. I'll just say that. Like personally, you see. And then I'll be like, man, why are you sending me? Can't you see this, that, that? But what's offended in that moment is not the fact that he can't see it, but what's truly honestly offended is the fact that I'm harboring so much resistance to another person's potential growth. You see, and that I can't still see the value underneath the nonsense or over the nonsense. You see, now that's a quality that I probably will have as I age or as I mature, right? Um, like a grandfather, you know, you could go to your grandfather, or go to your father and tell them about your children and say, man, this one's tearing up, this one's doing this, and this one's doing that. The grandparents would be like, oh, that's what kids do. You'd be like, what? You used to wear me out for that very same thing. Hey man, and then they come on over here. I heard you been acting up, huh? And then rub the top of their head. It's all right, champ. Yeah, go on and have some cookies or something. And you sitting there like, what the heck? You know, used to beat me within inches of death for that very same thing, right? But what it is as they mature, they recognize the value of time. They recognize the value of maturation, and how some things just ain't really that deep. It's not that important. You see, so they're moving closer towards the divine. So I have friends who are like that now, and maybe I haven't matured in certain areas in that way, right? But they're my friends because they reflect that divine principle. I have another friend who, um, yeah, he doesn't really argue, right? Um, like even when his woman is riffing, like he actually went off recently on her, and he called me. He was like, "Yo, I went off. Next day I came in, she made me all this food, and there was candles lit, and ran a bath for me." He's like, "Yo, I was acting like you, and I don't know, it worked. Like she became a totally different person." But that is not really him. He's not gonna maintain that. But I think for a moment, I mean, I know what happened when he went off. She was like, "Oh, I ain't never seen that part of you." But that's a quality in him that it irks me, but it irks me because it's something that I need to develop more of. He'll somebody will say, he'll be like, all right, and he's a very physical person. So it's not that he works a physical job where it's kind of like a detention center where he's got to put his hands on people, and recently he put his hands on somebody and broke him up real bad, because I saw him recently. He had a cast on his hand. I was like, yo, what happened? He was like, man, I had to break somebody's arm, and when I broke their arm, I slammed them down, broke their arm. They was acting crazy, and it messed up my I messed up my hand, right? So, but even in that, the other people who were around him were like, listen, if that person ever does that again, we'll get him for you because we know you're cool. Like you don't even go there like that on people. So that was all them, right? So that's a divine quality of being able to have that level of humility, where someone's riffing and you see like, no, you're riffing. I'm not gonna be dragged into. Whereas me, I might be like, you know, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. So either you stop or you ain't never gonna talk to me again. He might not do that because he's able to um, maybe sympathize a little bit more than I am. I don't, and that's just not a quality. I have sympathy, but once you disrespect me, once you're rude, once you're arrogant, I go into a different mode. And it doesn't mean I start. I don't rip. I don't argue myself, but I shut things down. And sometimes that means shutting the whole relationship down. Like, don't ever talk to me again. Like that's it. You know. Now, that's not a great quality to have, right? That's a hyper defensive quality that I have, right? Um, but he doesn't have that. You see? So we're friends. He reflects qualities of the creator that I am working and cultivating and striving to be. You see? So I won't give a whole bunch of examples, but you know, um, these friendships that I have, they're based upon what it is that the creator has shown itself to be in all of its beauty, and the things that I need. Now, I know, like I said, I know some demons, right? And those individuals eventually I won't know, right? So that there's a transitioning. Oh, I gotta go this way. Yeah, the demons were over here, the good people over here. I remember. So there's a transitioning out of that. I could say a form of life for me, and it may be slow, but it's happening, right? Even in all the Chief Yuya stuff and everything, we all, like I said, we're all on this road together. We all have things that we're working. We all have projects, internal projects, all of us, Um, but the thing is, the more I fellowship and assemble with my more righteous friends, the more loved, the more connected that I feel because I'm connected, and the same and vice versa, right? Um, but here's the thing: sometimes there's friendships that will come, and they don't come from the divine. Sometimes people come for you to do this for them and do that for them, and they're bringing you a form of love, so it would seem, but the love is agenda laced, and people don't sometimes realize that when their love is laced with agenda, that you actually scare people away. You run them away from you, you know, and sometimes when you've been doing that for so long, you start to imagine in your mind that I'm just a loving person. I just want to give my love to people, and no one will let me love them. I just have so much love to give. It's not that's not really true about you. So peace, 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 Olga. So you come in with your arms wide open, or maybe your legs wide open, or whatever it is, and you like, I just want to love you, just want to love you, just want to love you. But you're demanding an experience, you're demanding an engagement that the person may not, peace, Visha, that the person may not totally be ready for. The person may not totally be there in that moment and in that space, right? Because you have an agenda. So a lot of times, those are some of the friendships that leave us the most lonely. You see, because a person is just coming in to climb up. We're all in that quicksand. They're gonna climb up over your back, go to the shore, and then find something or someone else to give their love to. I'm just I'm not attached. I'm just not. There's people like that. Like, I'm not attached, and it's not about that. And you know, uh, relationships are for a season. People who preach that all the time. We did what we were supposed to do, and it was only for a season. And now I'm supposed to go do something else. You're a piece of garbage that has no stability or no level of commitment. That's what that actually is. You just use people for the season. And sometimes you can get caught up in that level of usury. And like I said, you feel like, man, I thought I was doing the right thing. I was befriending this person. I thought I was helping them and doing these different things. But in that, there's still a level of disobedience because was this person an asset in your life or were they a liability? And a person who's an asset, peace, Tommy Alexander, um, a person who's an asset, the agenda of showing everything they can do. Yeah, I could do this, I could do that, I got that, I got that. You need to be my friend. They're not going to come in like that. They're first going to be an asset because of how they reflect the divine back into your life. You see, they bring the divine. Like I said, I got friends who annoy me, and they're only annoying my ego because they bring the divine back in my life. Whereas I got other friends that's more demonic, and I can't even say friends because I don't even let them come to my house. So that's a sign of something right there. And I don't go to their house because we all know, like, we come from a world like, you turn a switch and I'll be laying in your bushes. You, you hit the right combination of buttons, friend or not. You know what I mean? So how friendly is that? You're like, nah, drop me right here. I'll walk. When everything is that, you see. Um, but the thing is, they feed something that keeps me from union with the divine. You see. But the more I begin to enjoy and lust for a union with the divine, the less I want that food. You see, I want different food, right? So that idea of loneliness, man, it's so important to understand that if you are a child of the universe, and you are, if you listening to me, because like I always reiterate and point out, I don't have high numbers on any of these social media platforms. You know, so the people, what's interesting about my platforms is that my numbers are not high, but my engagement is crazy high. So I may have 500-600 people watch a video, but like 300 people out of the five will reach out to me. you know Whereas like on my other channels, I have like 15-20,000 subscribers, and I could do a video and it will maybe get, you know uh, the ratio might be like 2-3% engagement. It's super low, right? um, so this space here is for the people who want this. So when I say, if you are a child of the universe, I'm going to assume that 90%, 90 to 95% of you are soulful beings who are a child of the universe. Thank you for the Cash App. Thank you for the Cash Apps, by the way. Those of you who have offered donations, I want to just thank you for that, because I know when the super chats pop up, I always like to say thank you, but people have also sent Cash Apps as well. So I want to give thanks for that as well. Peace, peace, brother Chris. You know, so like I was saying, you as a child of the cosmos, you're a child not of the cosmos, of the creator of the cosmos. Loneliness is not a default standard. It's not supposed to be there. It's not natural. It's not a natural state. And even when you get lonely, you have to account getting lonely as getting disconnected. That's where loneliness comes from. So even like, oh, sometimes we get lonely. That's not natural. That's like saying sometimes we get sick. That ain't natural either. You're supposed to never get sick in your entire life. Your body should never have to break down to that level because you've abused it so much that now it has to shut down and heal itself for 3 days. That's not natural. That's not a normal state. Just like loneliness is not a normal state, you see. And one of the things that you do, if you check out the I New Way, one of the first lines in that book is, this book is to be read every day. This book is to be read every day. Now, why is the book read every day? Because the more you read this, the closer you get to the divine, the less loneliness you feel. And then what happens too is, when you're in moments where you feel alone, you now have a repertoire of statements to remind yourself that peace, glitz, glam. You now have a repertoire of statements to remind yourself quickly. Peace, James Gadabaki and Esme. I don't think I caught you earlier. Um, so you now have, I'm not talking about being alone, Esme, I'm talking about loneliness. So now you now have a repertoire of statements to use to now speak to that. You may not be like, I ain't got the whole book memorized, or you may be reading other scriptural texts. I don't have the whole text memorized, but you start to just learn sections that you can affirm within yourself. Quickly. You can quickly, affirming yourself. You in your sacred book, there may be something that says, I'll never leave you lonely. Let's just say, I'll never leave you alone. I'll never forsake you. Right? So you may be going through something where you get to the register at the supermarket, and it's like, man, I'm short. I don't have enough money to buy this. I'll never leave you lonely, nor will I forsake you. Okay, cool. So you're constantly hearing that consciousness of voice. So that's why it's important to do that. And then also, when you're constantly doing that, it makes it easier for you to judge the quality of your friendships. You see, because now you have a grid to compare them to. When you stay within the wisdom, you always remember that the spirit, the mother is wisdom, and the father is mind, knowledge, consciousness, right? So when you're sandwiched always between those two realities of knowledge and wisdom, recognizing yourself as the understanding, the product of both of them. So I'm looking towards heaven for knowledge, peace, maroon beauty. Said something else, maroon beauty. When I'm that'd be nice too though. But when I'm sandwiched between the knowledge and the value and the creativity of heaven and peace, Eddie Moon, and the wisdom and the power and the active force of Mother Earth, and I'm the product that comes forth between the two of them, how could I ever feel alone? When under my feet, I'm feeling my mother, and on top of my head, I'm feeling my father. How could I ever feel alone? You see what I'm saying? So when you stay within those texts, when you stay within those teachings consistently, what then happens is now always being sandwiched there, you don't now. I used to call it missionary dating, right? Where you'll date someone, or you peace Baba Anwar, you'll date someone, or you'll become friends with someone, and you'll say, well, um, I'm trying to speak to them, I'm trying to teach them, I'm trying to enlighten them. So you don't have to enlighten those you date. That's a cop out. You're just lonely, and you're just accepting anything. Like, yeah, I know, peace, precious mom. I know this one isn't conscious. I know this one isn't about this, about that. But yeah, we went on a couple of dates. They can learn. They can learn, right? People can learn. You know, those are products of loneliness because you haven't allowed yourself to be sandwiched between the creative father and the wise mother. You see what I'm saying? So there's a overwhelming of emotional energy, of water energy that stimulates and becomes the catalyst for that loneliness because you have not connected in knowledge. It's just like when you feel the presence of your ancestors, you never feel doubt, or you never feel creative blockage. Those creative and those writer's blocks, or man, I can't write any new music, or I'm trying to work on this book and nothing is flowing. It's because you have forsaken your union, you've forsaken your connection. You've actually imagined that you are the creator. So yeah, I'm going to work on this book. You're actually thinking that all of those brilliant ideas come from you. So then when that separation is there, now you get to really see it ain't me. None of this came from me. I just have the ability to shape myself in the vessel that would deliver the message. That's all. Even right now, you see, why do you think sometimes when I'm speaking, I say you see a lot. You see, and I say you see, and I say you see, you see, you see. I say it all the time. I know I say it all the time, right? In those moments of you see, I'm speaking to myself. I'm not speaking to you. Okay? So in case you thought it was like, bro, in case you thought it was like just like people who say every time they talk, it's not that. You see, you see, I'm reaffirming to myself, and I'm reaffirming to you. It's you see, you know, you know, you know, you know what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? You see? um, so that's the thing, man. I want you to understand that loneliness is not a natural positioning. There's nothing natural about it. Loneliness is when you're stuck in earth reality, you're stuck in human reality, and you think that's where it's at. And you're surrounded by people, friends, lovers, who are not channeling the divine through themselves, and in turn channeling it to you. They have no. Some people don't give a crap. You know, you can talk all of the divine and conscious language you want. Some people could care less about a relationship with a creator, ancestors, divine. They'll listen to you, but they don't care. They don't care. If they think it's a joke. In fact, and sometimes, like I said, I have friends who annoy me, and we don't want to be around those friends who annoy us. But like I said, they're not annoying me; they're annoying my ego, and we don't want to be around those friends who annoy our ego. We want to be around the ones who make us feel more comfortable in our stupidity. You see, so when I have a friend and I'm looking at, and let's see, it's a lot of things, man. I don't know, just some of the stuff they do, and I'm just like, that ain't where it's at, man. Or you know, I don't know. I could go through a list, man. Um, a lot of times it's the gullibleness that gets me, or it's the unwillingness to assert. That I'm like, man, yo, tell them so and so and so and so. You want to go knock on their door? Let's go knock on their door. But that's not where I should be. You see, so I'm like, man, you don't ever want to. But they're right. They're right. Isn't that what you've been reading in all your sacred texts? The way they are, isn't that how you're supposed to be? So what's really truly being irked in this moment? What's really truly being bothered? Why are you taking this so personal? It's your ego trying to fight and rail against what your friend is subliminally and through modeling and action pouring and shaping into you as friends are supposed to do. That's what a fellowship is. We're supposed to change each other through the light of the divine, not confirm the crustaceans of ego within each other. You see, I love my friends. I love them. But what I love about them is the divine that's in them, that's in me. And then I have other people, the divine ain't in them, and I'm not around them. Peace, take care. I don't want to be around them because I want union with the divine. I don't want disconnect. I don't want to be crying out, "Why have thou forsaken me?" I don't want to say that. You see what I'm saying? So that's just an example of something that I wanted to share. But loneliness is a plague, man. It's plagues. Don't think that plagues and diseases are a normal part of your liberty. You see, they're not. They're not a normal part of your liberty. They're an abnormality. You know, they're an abnormality. So you make sure you're vibing with people who are bringing you closer to divine and principles and values, and make sure that, here's another important thing: when someone wants to be your friend, the first thing you should do is find out who their friends are. Like I said, when I was younger, I have friends, and we're young. These dudes I grew up with. You know what I mean? Um, but they started to separate from me. They didn't separate from me because I was being mean to them or I was taking advantage of them or anything. I was the same old you who looking out for everybody and letting everybody borrow my car or whatever it was. But it was who I was around. So it was like, your friends, are not people I would want to be friends with. So you and I can't really be friends like that anymore. Or at least we'll have to be distant friends, if you will, right? So when someone comes to you to be your friend, that's one of the first things you want to look at. Who is your friend? Who is your friend, right? Because here's the reality, especially for those of you who care anything about generations coming forward, whether it's your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, they will pick their friends the same way you pick your friends. Sometimes we forget that we're intertwined with on a genetic level, a cultural level, emotional level, and a mental level. So sometimes you might have a friend that's a piece of garbage. You got that friend who comes over the house every strong and tells you about all their tales of debauchery and craziness, and you sitting there laughing and, oh, you so crazy and you did what, you did what, and then your children are watching that. But then when they want to go hang out with with the dirty children at the end of the block, you're like, I don't want you around them. Now there's a dissonance there, because Uncle so and so, Auntie so and so is like, you know, just not a righteous person. We'll say that they're not living righteously. They're not even coming and bringing righteous value into this house, and you're reveling in it. You're celebrating in it. But then now you're telling me I have to pick my friends based on some value that doesn't even mean anything to you. I'll listen for now, but later I'm not going to listen. So now we have another generation of loneliness generated. That's what that is. So now your children are lonely, your grandchildren are lonely, because everyone is picking their circle based on the wrong values of feeding lower order energy, feeding animalistic energy. You see, and that's where you get that zombie piece, Brittany. That's where you get that zombie mindset. You could have a horde of zombies. There could be 1,000 of them going down the block, right? But they don't speak to each other, right? But they're all together, but they're not speaking. They don't, walk down hand in hand and or anything like that. It's not hands across America. It's nothing like that. They're just walking down the street together. You see, so a lot of times we have zombie friends. We're in a room together. Everybody's on their phone. We're not even trying to connect with each other. We just want bodies around us. You see, and we don't realize that our children take on those same values. Peace, Luis. Our children take on those same kind of values, those same kind of energy. So if you care anything about the generations that come behind you, then you have to be a modeling, even in the circles that you pick. I remember some of the friends that my parents had on each side, and those friends imputed certain curiosities in me in a good way. I remember one of my father's friends was a pilot. I actually got to go on a plane when I was very young, because he was an amazing pilot. On top of that, and he would take these little Cessnas out and make runs to Buffalo, New York, or down to Atlantic City or whatever. And I remember one time he took us up, and me and my brothers and whatnot, and even like because it's on both sides, right? Because he also had a very dark side too. But I remember us having to climb the fence at the airport because we were over the weight capacity with all of us, and he was like, "Nah, we'll be all right," But you can't go through the front; they can't see you get on the plane, so just come over by the side of the airfield, climb the fence, and so me and my brothers are climbing the fence to get into this little small engine Cessna, right? But the point is, especially at that time, to see another melanin rich man, they up there high fiving and slapping five, and probably got a bag of herb, you know what I mean, and some real black man stuff. But you flying a plane, and then at the time, my father was taking pilot lessons, so he gives him the control. He's like, all right, you got it. So I'm actually looking at my pops fly a plane. You see what I'm saying? Because of the quality of his friendship. So now when I get to a certain age, I'm looking for my friends that's next level. Who got a plane? Who got a boat? Who got a rocket ship? You know what I mean? So we're going to emulate the qualities of those friendships. You see what I'm saying? So it's important that it's not just for you and to defeat your own loneliness, but it's important that you think of going forward. What am I modeling in my fellowships? What am I modeling in my associations? So like when I had friends that disassociated from me, like I said, they were doing the right thing because I was out here doing the wrong thing. You know what I mean? At least, and like I said, I'm looking at them like, man, y'all a bunch of squares, man. Yeah, I'm in the streets. I'm this and that. Y'all, but everybody that I came up with got killed, or they're rolling around in wheelchairs, or they're doing football numbers in jail. you know, so that wasn't the way. That wasn't smart. And fortunately for them, that they came out of environments where they had proper contrast to see, like, Nah, nah, mama and daddy said that ain't that. No, I'm not gonna be around that. So I'll see you later. That type of thing. It was the right thing to do, right? Um, and we're going back obviously a very long time. I don't want you to think this is like 5, 10 years ago. No, I've been on this journey long, long, long time. You know what I mean? So when I tell you some of these occurrences, a lot of this is before some of y'all were even born. You know what I mean? So I just want to be clear on that. You know what I mean? And a lot of those brothers we're friends today. Like, we sat down, laughed, and joked about it over dinner. Like, yeah, man, y'all ain't had nothing to do with me, huh? And we've joked about, yeah, you were wilding, man. You know, you wilding. And some people don't want to be around someone who's always got an illegal firearm on them, or got problems with this one, or is going cross country and into doing certain things that they consider to be not moral based on their religious stance. I understand, you know. So all that did was fuel more loneliness, because when my divine friends separated, and I was with my street partners, I felt the greatest levels of loneliness I ever did in my life. You see, I felt lonely all the time, because not only was I disconnected from the divine, but remember, union is when the impedances moved between you and the divine. So, what were all my impedances? All these wicked ass friends I had. They were the impedance. They were the blockage between me and actual real fellowship with that greater and stronger spirit that had pulled me to where I needed to be. You see? So yeah, I just wanted to share that, man. And like I said, for those of you who fasted together, and those of you who were able to get through it, however you got through it, you did it together. If you failed, you failed together. If you succeeded, you succeeded together. But that union of doing something divine and having healthy bonding spirit experiences is critical. There has not been a mission statement that I've ever written for any initiative or coalition that I've ever established that has not had that phrase in it. You look through my websites, you're going to see something constantly: healthy bonding experiences. Because that's always been something that I've realized the value of and the importance of. Because when you're creating healthy bonding experiences, you're creating deity. You see, when we can get together on good values, yeah, man, the equinox is coming up. We not nature worshipers. We not sitting here saying, well, the equinox is here and let us now bow to Mother Nature. Oh, hell no, we ain't doing that. We just using it as a clock. That's all it is. We're just using it as a clock. So the healthy bonding part is, yeah, we're gonna reset our temples, man. We're gonna show a little respect and love to the temples that we were fortunate to be given, in whatever condition or shape that they're in. We're gonna show a little love, and we're gonna do it together. That's a divine thing, you see, and we're doing it together. You see, so now we all get closer to the divine as a result. You see what I'm saying? Or when I say, hey, let's focus on this affirmation today, as a nation. Let us study this material today. It's divine material. Now we're tightening up the fellowships with real things and eternal values. You see, that's the key, because the friends that I create now, I want to have forever. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to just have these friends, for my earth experience is so short. That's why you have to be a person of integrity. How could you not be a person of integrity? This life is so quick. I have friends. I've had friends who's blown millions of dollars. Literally, I've seen it. Millions. I had a friend who was a multimillionaire by the age of 15. By the age of 15, he was a multimillionaire. Went into an Audi dealership back in the days, um, to buy a vehicle cash. They told him come back. When he came back, the feds were waiting for him. Lost everything. Got locked up. Lost everything. Right. So, in the twinkling of an eye. That's just one story. I got a lot of stories like that, right? So if the feds waiting, you can kind of imagine how he became a multimillionaire by the age of 15, right? But this journey is so short, right? The journey is so short that why would you not stand on principle? Why would you not be a woman of principle? Why would you not be a man of principle, a stand-up person of integrity? Why would you not be that? And the journey is so short. I could see if we were rocking this. Nah, not poor kid. Rod. It's not poor kid. He was doing things that were creating poor kids. You see, so it's just karma. I know we live in a season now where we celebrate people who poison us, especially after they go do their 20 years in jail or 25 years in jail. They come out, write a book, and then everybody want to interview him and say, yo, that was a real one right there. You see right there, yeah, he was a real one. They don't make him like that. That's from my era. No, that was a real agent for evil. That was a real agent for white supremacy, racism. And the same thing goes for a lot of these gangster rappers that we celebrate and everything. They were being pat on the head by white supremacists. Good job, good job. You made it. You made more theme music for them people to go out there and destroy themselves and destroy their community. Good job. So poor kid, nah, he'll be alright. Because one thing, when you know how to get money, you always gonna get money. That's how you know when you got that old uncle that's in the basement sleeping underneath the water heater to stay warm, and you're like, back in the days I used to run this and I had this. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't have nothing. You see what I mean? That's old, burnt out stories. If you know how to turn a dime, like that's what my families always say to me. Yeah, he know how to turn a dime. You always gonna know how to turn a dime, whether it's illicit or whether it's something that's legal and righteous. So he'll be alright. He was a hustler. He still is a hustler. You know. But my point is that this thing moves quick. This thing moves quick. So when you're moving and you're traveling through this, and it moves so quick. We were youth when this happened. We're around the same age, so we're both around like 15. And I remember riding around in his cars and having fun and things like that, and going down to 42nd Street and just having a good old time. But I remember that like it was yesterday, and now look at us. We're old enough to be those young men's grandfathers. Nah, that's not. If things went a certain way, you know. But that's how quick this thing goes, right? So you got to be people of integrity, and what you bond on has to be higher righteous values, man. Because, like I said, if you're really enjoying your fellowship with the people you with, whether they be your spouse or your friends, why wouldn't you want it in the next reality? Why wouldn't you want it in the next consciousness? Now, how do you have it in the next consciousness? Well, you build those friendships upon righteous values. The friendships and the relationships that you build upon demonic values or lower order animalistic values, those fade. Those are very temporal, because that space down there is not eternal. The only eternal space that you have is the space that feeds into the soul purpose. That's the only thing that's forever, is the soul. So let's get together on some soul. You see what I mean? Let's soul on it. For a minute. Let's soul it up. Let's soul it to death. And in that, now we have a way to stay connected forever. You see, let it be real union. And what is real union? Removing the obstacles. So even if I'm with a woman, we truly have a union when there is no impedance between us and the divine. So the two of us come together, we make one divine energy. You see, and now that will be there forever. That's a soul tie. People always talk about soul ties, soul tie. You see a lot of these weak preachers talking about sometimes you soul tie with people. No, you're not. You're not soul tying with anybody, because the soul is already tied. It's already one. So it doesn't work like that. And even if you was soul tied with anybody, these weak Christian preachers couldn't do nothing about it anyway. They wouldn't have nothing they could help you with that. But they don't even have an understanding of this. They think the soul and the spirit is the same thing. So you can't, you ain't gonna get nothing from them. But yeah, man. That's all I really wanted to share, man. And just encourage you that loneliness is a plague, and you need to treat it just like that. It's a plague. Don't treat it as a normal condition. Being alone is cool, or if you want to be around people, that's cool. But when you got people who also say that they can't be alone, be careful of those people. Be careful. That means they have no connection to the divine, and they're gonna hijack. They're gonna plug in, hijack into your connection. You see, next thing you're gonna know, you're gonna be drifting away. You're gonna be drifting. Oh my God, what the heck? Because they can't be alone. I gotta have friends. Grow. I gotta have lovers. I can't. I don't like to be in a house by myself. Grow. I got people who've told me before. Um, I don't. I don't. I don't like to be alone or look at myself in the mirror because I see something in my eyes. I had a 40-year-old woman tell me that before. You don't like to look at your own self in the eyes because she said she sees something behind it sometimes. You see what I'm saying? So what do you do in place of that? Right? In place of self-examination, what is it that you're really establishing within yourself? You see? So this is what I'm saying, man. Learn how to pick your friends from a divine space and look at who they're friends with. And then look at, why. Because sometimes people come into your life, man, just to drag you down. Like I did in that segment before, the creator sends some people and the devil sends some people. And sometimes they come looking for the same thing, to be your friend. So you're like, it's got to be good. You want to be my friend. I've known many, many women in my life who have had babies by people. And I've asked her, well, what is it that you liked about him? He liked me. He told me he liked me, or he told me he loved me, and I never had anybody tell me they loved me before. My father didn't really tell me he loved me, and he was the first person to tell me he loved me, or I don't know, he liked me, so I felt like I should like him back. I can't tell you how many times I heard that one, right? Um, so you're not really paying attention as to who's really sending this person into your reality. Yeah, hey, let me tell you something, Baba Uchu, Baba Emmanuel. 81 people, 42 likes, right? Y'all been telling them to hit the like button since the beginning of the video. They're not gonna do it. I've been seeing it. I've been ignoring. I've been seeing that hey, y'all get the likes up, and they're not here to give. Give it to me, give it to me, baby. They're here for that. They ain't here for the a wound away, a wound away. I give it away, I give it away. They're not here to do that. You know what I mean? They just here to take. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's all good. Whatever. Yeah, when you hit the like button, or it helps to grow the experience and get the message to more people. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all laughing. Yeah, wound away is the new. That's like new school. You know what I mean? The old one was like, they don't do that no more now. A wound away, a wound away, a wound away, a wound away, a wound away. And then when I was younger, it would be da da do do da da do do da da do do da da do do. You know what I'm saying? But they switched it up. You know what I mean? They switched it up to the wound away joint. So that's the newest style. You know what I mean? But yeah. Y'all always laughing. You play too much. So yeah, man. Just think about it, man. Get some good friends. Y'all are silly. Um, yeah, just get some better friends, man, and some friends that those friendships base them on. Your son is laughing, huh? Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad to make a little boy laugh. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, the music for spice bracelets and bandanas and heart pumps. You know what I mean? Yeah. When that joint came, you knew somebody's about to be spinning on their head. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's about to be a breakdance battle. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all didn't grow up in that era. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up in that era, but yeah. So we just gotta base these fellowships on good things, man, and that's why I opened up the fast to all of y'all, and there'll be other things that will open up. And I know that you're not our new members, but you know, some things at least until we open up the registration, some things you can partake and enjoy in. And like for us, we meet not only every 7 days, but every day there's a good doing in everybody. How's everybody doing? And when there's deaths in the family, we on it, and good things happening, people working on different things and stuff like that. We're tuned in like that and encouraging each other towards good stuff. Because that's the eternal stuff, man. And and then there's some temporary stuff we encourage people towards too, like get your money right. While you BS, and you might as well get your money right. And things like that. Grow, and things like that. But what's most important is that we seek to withdraw and pull out the divine in each other. That's education. Education. We're pulling the divine from each other and bringing it to the forefront, and then allowing that project and pour into each other. That's the greatest thing, man. That's the greatest thing. And learn that lesson now. And like I said, take inventory of your friends. Who's bringing me closer to the divine, and who's just here because they feed my stupidity that I need to get rid of anyway. And that even goes to where you're working at and where you're living. You know, you want to do the same thing. Who am I working around? Who am I living around? Does this environment, do these people bring me closer to divine or further away? Am I constantly tempted to go up somebody's head with a half a water pipe? Or am I constantly tempted to say something nice and kind to someone based on the kindness that they're projecting and sending towards me? All right. Okay. So I'm gonna let you go about your day. I'm gonna release you. All right. Oh, the music broke right when I said that. It was perfect timing. But yeah, man. So enjoy your day. Be safe. As always, enjoy this season. And rise up in wisdom, rise up in wisdom, rise up in wisdom, rise up in wisdom. Even when they're coming at you funny, just keep rising up, man. Make your water so high and your wisdom so high that they can't even reach you. That they're throwing rocks at the bottom of your boat, or it's just floating under the bottom. You're looking at it and laughing. That's how I want you to rise up, man. And hopefully you'll want it for yourself. I want you to want it for yourself. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna head on out because what you think today is? It's another busy day. You hear all them alarms. It's another busy day. Um, but I think it's an earlier day today. I think I'm jam packed. Maybe I try not to go too hard after nightfall. But I mean I still keep going. But I think my toughest stuff is probably all before 4 o'clock. So I'm gonna get on that. I ain't get no money today. You know what I mean? So I need to go boost my self-esteem and go get some money real quick. So I'm gonna go get some money, get myself feeling like a man again, and work out all the tightness and the kinks, and then get my stuff done. So I know all you new people, you've probably already gotten your money already, or you get ready to go get your money, because we got to weaponize because they you never know when they might try to come for one of our precious ones, and we're all precious in Nanu, so you got to be able to form a circle around them and handle situations. You can't be weak. You sisters, you never know when you're gonna have to grab some of those babies and run up in the mountains. You see, so you got to make sure that them quads are right. And them glutes are tight, and them calves are strong, and you're able to move because you never know. You never know. So got to make sure that we are not only a wise and spiritual nation, but that we are a physically formidable nation. Always. All right? Okay, everyone. So enjoy your day and be well. Peace, 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 peace,